Bumblebee. Alright guys, before we get started, like all my new movie reviews, I'm going to keep it short, sweet, simple, and to the point. Alright guys, let's get it started. Bumblebee stars Haley Steinfeld and this guy right here and John Cena! Wait, what was that? Hold on, let me try that again. And John Cena! Why does that keep happening? Just let me try that one more time. And his name is John Cena! I guess we're just gonna have to fucking deal with it, guys. Whatever. Alright, guys. Bumblebee takes place in the 80s, about the mid-80s. I want to say like 1985, 1986, somewhere around there. 85. It takes place in 85. And to be honest with you, this is where the Transformers movies needed to take place. This film serves as a good, I guess kind of soft reboot to the Transformers universe, and I really wish this was the first movie to kick off these series of films. I really wish that they started with Bumblebee, then made the Transformers movies, because as we all know, well, me personally, the Transformer movies, they kind of fucking suck.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Michael Bay for joining us.
They're usually really convoluted, they take themselves way too seriously, the action is really like subpar and edited all shittily so you don't really know what the fuck is going on. But Bumblebee doesn't do that. Bumblebee takes a step in a different direction and decides, hey, you know what would be good instead of taking ourselves way too seriously and editing like if we're throwing the fucking computer at the wall? Why don't we edit better and have some fun with it? And that's exactly what this film did, and that's exactly what this film needed to do. This film is everything that I wanted in a Transformers movie. It's silly, it's fun, it has robots kicking the shit out of each other, it shows some cool stuff with them transforming from cars to robots. It has everything you would want in a Transformers movie.
Oh, that's that good shit!
That's not to say that it's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. And for that, I really enjoyed it. And this film, at its core, it's an 80s film. This film is straight up an 80s film. From everything from having your lead character be a weird outcast, and it even has the main character have one of their parents dead. They're even celebrating a birthday that people seem to forget, a la 16 Candles. And it's also a coming-of-age story of this person who not falls in love with, but this person who grows this friendship with this unlikely person that they would never grow a friendship with. So it hits all of the fucking 80s points. And I have to say, it does a good job of it. I mean, this is the closest we're gonna get to an 80s film in today's era of film.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
This film, I mean, for lack of a better word, it isn't what those other Transformers movies are. It's not what those movies are. How those movies are like crazy, like global, end of the world type fucking things that are so crazy, and there's this whole war going on and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what happens in this movie too, but it's on a way lesser scale. It's not as big as a scale. Yeah, you know what, there's like some world-threatening stuff, but this movie handles it a lot better. You can actually tell what's going on, and you can actually follow the story and not be like, what the fuck is happening? That was a huge problem that all the other Transformers films had, and I'm happy to say that this film doesn't have that problem. One problem that it does have, however, is the relationship between Haley Steinfeld and this guy was really forced, but then again, I kind of gave it a pass because that's what 80s movies did. They had shit like that. Another thing that was kind of a little bit lacking was like the film's villain. The film's villains were very lackluster. You know, even the Decepticon villains that were in this film were very like, I wish they would have picked more well-known Decepticons to come out in this film. However, I am glad that this wasn't a retread of every other Transformers film where it's just Megatron against Optimus Prime and somehow Megatron survives at the end. I was really happy that's not what happened. Also, the beginning of this film has an amazing opening sequence. It's probably one of the coolest sequences you'll see in a Transformer movie, period. I mean, until they make another one that's better, but for now, that opening sequence in Bumblebee is fucking immaculate, and people who are fans of the Transformer movies and just the Transformers in general are going to be like,
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
There's even some cool fan service in the beginning of the film. Like, you get to see how Bumblebee's voice box gets torn out, and you actually get to hear his voice before he turns into, like, you know, how we know him now, uses the radio to speak. So that's really cool. There's a lot of cool things going on in this film. Is it the greatest film in the world? Is it gonna make people like, yeah, it's so fucking awesome? Maybe not. Maybe not. But it's a step in the right direction, and it's really fun. It's really cool. It's really action-packed, and for once, I really didn't mind learning about the human character in one of these movies, because usually I'm like, fuck the humans, I just want to see the robots fight each other. But this time, the way that they did it, the way that they framed it, and since it was using like the 80s as a backdrop, I really kind of fell in love with Haley Steinfeld's character and her relationship with Bumblebee. And yeah, it's corny, but again, it's an 80s movie. That's what it's trying to do. It wants to be corny, it wants to be predictable, it wants to have that forced boyfriend-girlfriend relationship between the two awkward geeks. So, you know what, for that, guys, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's not the greatest film that you're going to see this holiday season, but it's not at all the worst film that you're going to see this season. And it's the best Transformers film that they've made so far. Okay, sorry. This one's the greatest one ever made. This one is a far away second. Okay, alright, I'll admit that. Alright, guys, so final verdict for Bumblebee. It was fun. It was, the only way I could describe it is pure 80s fun. And that's pretty much what the Transformers are, right? So I give it a 7 out of 10, and I suggest you go out and watch this film if you're a fan of the Transformers, or if you just want to take your family out for a cool film. Alright, guys, I'm Ryan T, and I'll see you in the next one.